pull here, and this is just a video to understand if you're trading Cswap, interested in a coin that you can take advantage of. These moves that we're seeing here are very simple. So we're going to set the alerts on the 3 hour, and the 3 hour is going to be long and short, right? And all you're going to do is set your alerts, and when you get hit with an alert to buy and sell, just do so. And we're going to dig into these little sections here when there is moments of uh, selling and so forth, right? So as you can see here, when you have a sell zone, right, on the 3 hour, let's say you get the email to sell here, right? We're gonna analyze this box real quick so you guys can understand the best way to take advantage of your sell zone, right? So this right here is where you're going to get a sell zone and an email on this situation, right? So it's going to be right off of this candle here, and normally it comes a candle later. And what we're trying to do is protect from this section here, right? Which is what happens when there's a sell signal and then a bounce, which returns to the entry zone right here, which you can kind of see, um, which is going to be right at this point here, right? That's that little bounce right there, right? So that's really what we're looking at. You can see it touches that spot a couple times, and we're going to put a little bit of line right across there. So you can see in these particular areas there's a support and resistance line right there. And this is where when you see people talking about support, resistance, they find it important. But we're going to show you how to use the indicators to execute this very simply, right? So you get a sell signal, right? So you go and sell. Second thing is you should already be aware of the sell signal, because honestly you should be selling right here. You see this little blue moon, right? That's our 3 hour moon. That is the sell point for uh, the coin. So it's before the trend or the price action, right? So the indicators that we're looking for, so you want to use your moon indicators to get you into a situation where you understand that the moon indicator is going to trigger first, right? So it's always moon and then price action. The moon is the volume. It senses volume changes, right? So when volume falls below or switches sides, meaning when the volume's hot, it's green, and when the volume is switching directions, it will go into a red moon, right? In this scenario, I have my red moon set to blue, just so I can see them in the background when we're actually online, right? So when you see the blue moon or the red moon pop up, yours should be red, right? Anything else, the opposite of your green moon, right? You're going to be in a scenario where when it's on the 3 hour, that is what you're going to use as a sell zone, okay? And then you're going to let that run into your price action uh, alert on your trend right here, right? So very, very simple to take advantage of. Once you see that come in, you allow the next piece to happen, and then that's where you're at. So your sell zone should have been way up here, and that allows you to take advantage of the highest point of your push. Now, if you're shorting this, right, and looking to go into a short, it's a little bit different. But if you're just doing longs, let's say you're doing Cswap longs, right, you get your 3 hour push. It's a really good move. Your blue moon comes in, your red moon comes in, you sell, and now what you're waiting for is for the price action to either change colors, letting you know that it's finally giving up an exhaustion and the momentum is changing, or the moon will switch back from a red moon to green, which means that you would continue on a push up. And we can see right here that there is a push up that happens right there off that green moon. But because the price action is red, we wouldn't actually take this push, because what we're doing is we're playing bigger moves. But you can see there's always a bounce, right? So like I tell you guys all the time, when you see a trade, there's always moves to the trade, right? There's always a move one direction, it bounces, the move will make another move down, and then that it'll start to reverse the other way, right? And this is where you can see a very simple pattern. Things happen like that all the single time. So this is also a lesson. If something is going in a direction you're not, you haven't missed a trade, um, because it always comes back to you, right? So once we see this 3 hour red moon come in, mine's blue currently, we get out of this trade. And then what we'd be waiting for is we'd be waiting for the price action to either produce a green moon with the price action staying green, allowing us to, continue on our move up. In this scenario, it doesn't happen. It goes green, but our price action already went red. Now, the beautiful thing about this is if you're looking to stay long, all you're going to do is allow this to go all the way back, and then when the alert says it's time to buy again, when this green price is coming in, you get the alert, then you'd be buying back in this area here, taking advantage of this next move. You know, even if you bought the top of this move, you'd be looking at around 15%, right? So that's really what you're looking for. And then if you allow that to blue moon again, which happens right here, right? Here's another blue moon. You're out of this trade, and more than likely your stop loss would have been hit because you're going to keep moving your stop loss. And then what happens is we get a red zone all the way down, and then we run into a beautiful green price action again right here. And getting in here at this price action movement here has allowed us to take advantage of this current move, which is 70%, right? Now, the best way to short this, if you're thinking of taking advantage of both directions, I'm not sure. Currently, this is not set up on futures where you can short it. It's on MEXC. That's what I trade on. And currently on MEXC, this is only set up for longs, right? It's in what we call spot. So there are no shorts in here. But just to kind of give you an example, if you're going to short a coin like this, the very first thing you would do is you would allow the red moon to come in, create the shorting possibility. You would then rotate and look for a bounce, right? Meaning that you would see this come down. There's a bounce here that establishes the high zone, right? That is where you would start looking to take advantage of the next move, right? And you can swap over to, you can see here on your three hour RSI, it pushes up and starts to cross over back down. That would be where you're entering these positions for shorts, right? So right here, that bounce, there's a crossover. You're taking advantage of that pullback. It bounces again. You're taking advantage of this pullback. And what you're doing is you're just riding this wave down. And now that the price action has turned red, you know that you can ride that wave down because you're riding the wave, but you have confirmation that the wave is getting weak. So once this move happens, it bounces, the price action turns red, you enter this trade here, right? And you start to ride this down, right? And that is the way to short this, right? Watching the price action turn, right? You would allow it to go down, right? The next time it bounces up, right? That 3 hour comes back up, that second move. This is where you would want to short that coin. If you're shorting the coin here on that first move, you have to be aware that there's always going to be a bounce to the next side, meaning it's going to bounce up on the next move. And you have no idea how much it's going to bounce because you don't know how many stop limit orders or limit orders are set. You don't know how many people are pushing for the long. You don't know how many people are waiting to buy the retracement, the support zone, et cetera, et cetera. So what we like to do is we like to allow it to use its first move, which is this move here, right? Once it does its first move, once it bounces on this move here, this is the area of interest that we would be looking at in order to enter. And we can see here we have multiple things that are happening, right? One is we have constant testing of this support line or resistance line at this point. And then we also know that we had a green moon. And what we're doing here is we've seen the 3 hour RSI come down, push up, and then right here, the RSI is peaked out and starting to head back down. This is the second move. So on the second move, this is where we take advantage of the entry and then we eat it up from here and we stay in this move until we get the number that we want. So this was 100% gains on this. So if you're doing a 30x, you're making 300% on this. But this is how you trade this, right? You always trade the second move, guys. Don't be impatient. Just allow the coin to let you know its strength and weaknesses. The indicators are there to let you know the trade exists. Your job is to allow the trade to develop. And then once it develops, you take advantage of that trade. A lot of guys would take the trade once this turns red, they'd be looking here, forgetting that there's going to be a bounce and retest. Now, don't get me wrong. Depending on your trading, right? If this turns red in this zone here, you're going to make money here, right? We have a 20% move inside of this zone. What you have to remember is that when you take each entry, you have to remember that you got to when you take the first entry, which is this entry here, right? When you take this entry here, you have to remember there's going to be a bounce, there's going to be a retracement, right? There's going to be a retest, right? So you have to understand that the very first time, if you take this first trade, you have to accept the profits when it happens, meaning that you need to set a target, you need to accept the target, and then when that target hits, you need to say, I'm done with this until it bounces. And then on the next trade, you can hold a little bit longer on the second move because that second move is built momentum. But on the very first move, you got to understand that there's going to be an end to that because it has to bounce and it has to retest. So let's wrap this video up with a very simple thing, right? When you get the indication there's a blue moon or red moon, you're selling, right? And there's a first move down, and we wait for the confirmation of the continuation of weakness, which happens here with our trend. Our trend goes red. You can enter the trade at this moment here, but know that you must accept the gains that happen. So our entire process is to, our system is to take 50% gains when it happens, right? Easy 50% gain here. And if you're moving your stop loss, let's say you did a 20x on this, I mean, you would have capitalized on 400% gain. So you should have been moving your stop loss, staying 50% behind. You would have made 350% on this. And then when it stopped you out and started to head up, you know that the next time that you're entering is going to be allowing the green to finish its full move and eventually break down on negative volume right here. So you see that second move goes up, it touches this point here, starts to come down, and that puts you in a zone where uh, a green moon has a pump. You'd be waiting for that green moon to finish its process, and eventually you would see that it's starting to get weak. And as soon as it breaks this negative volume here and it crosses over, now you can see the volume below that little line there, and that's where the safest place to enter would be right here when this volume breaks below the negative line, right in here, and you take advantage of this roller coaster down. Or even if you waited for the blue moon to kick in or blue moon alert on the 3 hour, you're entering right in there. And just like always, even on the blue moon, there's a move down, and then the blue moon has a retesting, which is here, and then there's the second move down, right? So once again, always understand that the first move, whatever indicator you're using, if you're going on the blue moon, there's going to be a bounce. And when that bounce happens, you have to take profits. Then you're going to re-enter. Because of that indicator, you're going to bounce again and take that second move there. So just be aware that these coins move up and down pretty frequently, and the entire object here is simply to take profits. So at the end of the day, Cswap is not a coin that allows you to short. So if you're longing it, it's very simple. When you get this green indicator for your trends, just know that you are working off a 3 hour time frame. And when that 3 hour time frame hits and it goes off for you, uh, you just want to make yourself into your movement, right? So once you see this 3 hour time frame click, let's take a look at it right here. That's that little buy zone right there. All you really need to do here to get into that trade is slide down to your 1 hour. And it's very, very simple at that point. All I want to see on my 1 hour is the same thing, right? I want a 1 hour moon right here, green moon, and I want a 1 hour green trend, right? And then from there, what do I need? I need positive value. You can see here, 1 hour moon, 1 hour trend, positive volume retest. There's an entry point, positive volume retest. There's an entry point, positive volume enter, pull back, another entry point, right? So there's been 3 entry points that you could have took on this 1 hour entry and moved all the way up. Now, if you get to this point where you see this 3 hours telling you right here that this is an entry point right here, then all you needed to do is slide over to your 1 hour. Very simple. See a green moon, see a green trend. Look for the, it's in a pullback mode right there. You see how the 1 hour is coming down? We don't trade against the 1 hour RSI. The 1 hour RSI pulls down, crosses back up. You can see the money line starts to head up, and that's where you would place your entry right there. And that is how you trade this very easily. You wait for the 3 hour entry, right? 3 hour price action to say email you get says buy. You go to the 1 hour, and all you're doing is you're making sure that the 1 hour RSI is in your favor. Here's the moon, here's the trend. The 1 hour is heading down, it crosses up right here. Then you can take that entry right there as you normally do, and then take advantage of this move. And this move ends up being a solid 36%, and it just keeps riding all the way up. So that would have gave you um, like 67%, guys. So that's how you trade Cswap, right? Set the alerts for the 3 hour. Once you get the 3 hour, go to your 1 hour trade. Make sure you're trading with the 1 hour RSI and the money line heading north because we're going long. And that's it, guys. Good luck. God bless. That's how you trade Cswap, and it has very good returns, 20 to 70% per move. And these are taking May 2nd to May 6th. So these are, these trades are delivering over 4 days. Now, like I said, there's no leverage on MEXC. So with spot trading, you're not really at risk of being liquidated. So this system here, when you buy in, you're not at any risk of being liquidated. So you can trade pretty safely here, um, and make your moves. The only thing I would do is make sure you set your alert. And once you enter a trade, you're going to be trading this particular trade. And what you want to do here is set your alert for your 3 hour red trend, and then that's where I'd be looking to sell. Like, you do have a 3 hour red moon here. I probably would have sold on the 3 hour red moon, and then when I got a 3 hour green moon, I would have bought back, sold on my 3 hour red moon again, bought back on my green moon, sold on my 3 hour red moon. Right. So there was one, two, three, four, five, four trades in here that you could have continued on this level. And the only reason I bought back when there's a green moon is because the trend stayed green. So set your alerts for selling on the 3 hour green moon or 3 hour red moon and sell. And then and then set the alert for the green moon to come back for a rebuy. And if the trend stays green, just rebuy on the green moon. Green moon, green trend, buy. Blue moon, sell. Green moon, green trend, buy. Blue moon, sell. Right? That's pretty much it, guys. So other than that, good luck, God bless. Take a look at C